Dozens of migrants piled collectively at Melilla border fence. Video Rabat, Madrid. Dozens of migrants were pictured lying by way of a Moroccan border fence, some bleeding and lots of reputedly dead, in video showing the aftermath of an untried mass crossing into a Spanish enclave on Friday wherein as a minimum 23 died. Moroccan authorities said the catastrophe came about after migrants attempted to breach a fence into the Melilla enclave, with a few loss of life in a overwhelm after what authorities called a stampede, and others falling as they climbed. The Moroccan Association for Human Rights (AMDH) neighborhood head Omar Naji said its individuals and sympathizers had shot the pictures, which showed huge numbers of badly injured humans piled collectively with Moroccan safety forces status over them. He stated migrants had lain injured for hours without medical remedy, main to a better dying toll. Some 2,000 migrants had tried to reach Spanish territory by means of storming the enclave fence earlier than fighting border guards for 2 hours, with approximately 100 making it throughout the frontier. Morocco said 23 migrants had died and rankings have been injured, but AMDH mentioned the death toll was 29, bringing up unnamed local medical officials. Has no longer controlled to speak to any of the migrants who tried to go. The mass crossing changed into the first attempted from Morocco into one in every of Spain's North African enclaves since Rabat and Madrid agreed this 12 months to reinforce cooperation on border manage. That deal, which ended months of frosty members of the family, came after Spain subsidized Morocco's stance over Western Sahara, a disputed territory that Rabat says is its personal, but wherein an independence movement is fighting for a separate nation. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez called the raid an attack on the territorial integrity of our USA, and blamed it on people traffickers. Scores of Moroccan and Spanish security personnel had been also injured. However, Melilla local president Eduardo de Castro said the images had been hard to provide an explanation for and accused Moroccan safety forces of a disproportionate reaction. A Moroccan respectable mentioned protection employees had now not used undue pressure. Sticks, knives and acid. One AMDH video showed dozens of African migrants piled collectively, many motionless and a few making feeble movements as Moroccan officers in rebel equipment looked on. The same clip confirmed security forces pulling 2 bleeding and dazed-looking migrants beyond the one's mendacity at the ground. Another showed a Moroccan protection officer putting a person who lay inclined. Friday's incident accompanied days of rising anxiety in the place round Melilla, in line with Ousmane Ba, a Senegalese migrant in nearby Nader who runs a network group to assist different migrants. Ba, who neither took component in Friday's incident nor witnessed it, stated migrants dwelling nearby had clashed numerous times with Moroccan security forces even as trying to cross the fence earlier this week. Many of them are dwelling rough in nation-state close by and had been desperate, he mentioned. I actually have in no way seen migrants attacking this violently. We deplore the deaths close to the fence, he said. A Spanish police supply mentioned the migrants who stormed the fence had used sticks, knives and acid in opposition to security forces and had modified procedures to try crossing at one perceived weak point en masse, as opposed to in separate tries along the fence. Images posted on Twitter NYSE, TWTR, through Spain's Civil Guard Union whose veracity changed into unable to affirm showed a huge column of primarily young male migrants streaming through streets close to the border. Some regarded to be wearing sticks and throwing projectiles as puffs of smoke marked the air around them. Footage published at the Facebook Nasdaq Meta web page of Segnan Live, a local TV station, showed migrants grappling at a small segment of border fence in a large institution as sirens sounded close by and tear fuel canisters launched plumes of smoke. An image of the aftermath posted by AMDH confirmed a massive attention of humans' mendacity at what regarded to be a frontier gate, in an enclosed corner where high metallic fences met, with ambulances status close by. The AMDH and Spanish rights businesses issued a assertion calling for formal investigations into the disaster and for government to not bury those killed until afterwards. This is the most severe incident on the border between Spain and Morocco, on account that 2014 whilst 15 humans died, said Esteban Beltran, director of Amnesty International in Spain.